Greetings, sports fans, and welcome to the latest edition of the Emporia Sports Buzz.
This is the college edition.
I am Jesse, Newell, Gazette sports reporter, joined alongside, as I always am, by Michael, the man, the myth, the legend, Ashford. Michael, say hi to everybody out there.
The Emporia State basketball teams went 4-0 this last week. Not something I expected to happen.
Not something that many people expected to happen, but we will get to that. As I said earlier, this is the Emporia Sports Buzz we turn to for all your chitter chatter, gobbledygook, whatever. We talk, you listen. It's great. Thumbs up, Mike. There we go. Anyway, we talk about Emporia State basketball. The shocking one for me, we'll talk about this one first. Wednesday, they go to Northwest Missouri State. It's a tough place to play, especially on the men's side. The men hadn't won there in 10 years. We'll start with the women, though. The women, a huge game for them because they were playing the Bearcats. Northwest Missouri State was tied for first in the conference. Emporia State goes there and gets a convincing victory, double-digit win, and also moves itself into a tie for first place in the MIAA standings. It's kind of crazy to think right now, but Mike, this team was picked first place in the conference. They're back to first place in the conference, even with 3 conference losses right now. And 5 overall, and it's certainly not where a lot of people expected the Lady Hornets to be at this time of the season. With 5 losses, and not very many people expected that. This team was ranked 3rd to start the year in the national rankings, but the Lady Hornets are playing some good basketball right now, and going into the second half of this season, I look at the emergence of Ida Edwards over the last week and a half as what has really sparked the Lady Hornets to appearing to look like the team that they were predicted to be all along this year. I mean, she had, especially the game up in Northwest, it sounded like she just, I guess, went off there. I mean, it's the best way you can put it. I'm assuming that was the case. It's definitely been the case, and Ida Edwards, the thing for her is lately she's been doing it in all areas. Now, she's been able to score early on, but she had quite a few turnovers doing it. She didn't really look comfortable in the offense yet. You know, there was a stretch out there where Cassandra Boston and Michelle Steve were both out in the Northwest game, and Ida Edwards was out there, and she was scoring, she was passing, she was giving assists, she was playing good defense, she was rebounding. I mean, she was doing everything for the Lady Hornets to keep them in that game, and really she's become a difference maker. Like you said, if she can limit her turnovers, and again, this is like the Emporia State team in general, if she can limit her turnovers and make good decisions, she's making better decisions as we go. She makes everyone better. She gets layups, she can create off the dribble, she can create in the lane, she can find open teammates. I mean, she really is a difference maker if you can kind of keep her reined in and keep her playing within her game. Yeah, and that's what this team expected out of her all along. They expected her to be that 3rd scoring option to Michelle Stevie and Cassandra Boston, and now they're getting more of an all-around game from her, and as a result, you know, the Lady Hornets are getting much better performances out on the basketball. Well, the thing about Ida Edwards, when she steps up, she has something right now that the Lady Hornets don't have, and that Michelle Stevie is more kind of a spot-up shooter. It's tough for her to get her shot off without maybe having a screen set for her, or without her maybe taking a few dribbles and getting an opening. Cassandra Boston had the ability to score off the dribble, but she's kind of still recovering from that left ankle sprain. She's looking better. She is getting maybe that floater back a little bit, that kind of patented move that she has. So she's getting that back, but it's just coming along slowly. Ida right now, when she gets the ball in the post, she can create through the dribble, she can create for her teammates. She's able to just get the ball and make something happen. And Emporia State for a while, with Boston injured and Stevie kind of more of a spot-up shooter, didn't have that option where they could give to somebody and have them create either through a pass or through a dribble or through a shot, whereas other players weren't really creating their own shot. They were kind of looking for other people to step up and score. Second time through the MIAA schedule now. They've already played Fort Hays State, but where does this team go from here to stay in that top spot in the MIAA? Well, the important stretch right now is obviously the stretch right in front of you, and that's 4 of the next 5 games are at home. Emporia State got that first win this last weekend against Fort Hays State, but right now Emporia State needs to win its home games. I mean, 4 out of 5 at home. If you can win those 5 games during that stretch, which shouldn't be out of the question because you've got a lot of games at home, a lot of beatable teams. You have the momentum. You're taking it into a conference where a lot of teams have had a lot of losses. So if you can get that stretch, they've got 3 road games after that. You've got Washburn and Pittsburgh State in that stretch. But if you can take a big winning streak into that stretch, you're probably on the top of the conference by yourself, and you're kind of the team to beat, and then you have the destiny controlled in your own hands. Talk about the Emporia State men, because they were picked to finish 3rd in the MIAA as well, and after everything that has gone on this season with Westbrook going out for a 2nd time, the double or the quadruple overtime losses, Coach Moe's little incident there against Newman. This team is in 3rd place in the MIAA and pulling off some impressive victories here without the services of Westbrook. Absolutely, and you look at this team, at one point they're 7-7, 1-3 in the conference. You're thinking, Westbrook went down, are they going to win again? They won 5 of their last 6. They've won their last 3 games, and they're right in the thick of things. I mean, 3 seed in the conference. I mean, you're at the upper half of the conference tournament there. So really, right now for this team, they're just finding ways to win. I mean, they're just scrapping, they're clawing, they're playing defense. What has impressed me the most, though, is they've reinvented themselves, because all along, David Moe has had this high-flying, high-scoring, we're going to score 90 points now, whether you can score 95 or not, that's your choice. But in this last stretch without Westbrook, they haven't been winning that way. They've been winning through defense, through taking time off the shot clock, through working their offense, through making other people better, and they've been winning in the 60s. I've never seen this from a Coach Moe team. They've been just finding ways to win, playing better defense, scrapping things out, and that's impressive to me. When you are a team that has an MO like that, like we're going to score, and whether you can outscore us or not, we'll see. They have totally changed themselves into something different and have won with it.
Well, and that's certainly impressive midway through the conference season, because teams are going to be game planning for one style, and if you can change complete to the complete opposite, it's pretty impressive. Just because teams are going to be expecting that, you can maybe hit them a little bit and surprise them a little bit with this new style that you bring to the court. It seems like that was definitely one of the options against Northwest Missouri State. And this team is hanging around in ball games and then getting big shots when they need to from Andrew Davison. It sounds like DeAndre Townsend always. You're gonna what you're gonna get out of that guy. But it's just impressive how this team is finding ways to hang around in ball games.
They definitely have, and it's going to be interesting to see this last half of the conference season, because literally this could go any way. I mean, they could lose the rest of their games. I wouldn't be horribly surprised. They could win the rest of their games. I wouldn't be horribly surprised. Right now, this team could go in any direction, because night to night, it's so dependent on whether they shoot well, whether they play defense, whether the other team's hot. Pretty much Emporia State is just hanging close in games and winning them at the end. We'll see if they continue that trend.
All right. Well, that wraps up the Emporia State side of things.
Yeah, Mike, how was your week for K-State? I'm assuming that it was a good week for K-State, still beating KU, and we talked about how, if Pullen and Walker could get their points, K-State might have a chance at an upset. Well, they get 42 combined, beat KU, but K-State comes back and loses to Missouri. How has this week been for you?
It's still a good week, just because K-State did finally snap that streak at home, but it's kind of a downer when you come out and lay an egg against Missouri. This is something we talked about before the season started. We both said K-State will play up to the level of its competition and down to the level of its competition, and this week was the prime example of that. Looking unbeatable against KU, and then looking very pedestrian, very non-athletic against a Missouri team who was missing 2 of its players due to suspension. And 3 actually, and just not a very good basketball team this year. I mean, let's be honest, they're really not. And K-State goes out there and kind of lays a stinker.
We'll see how they respond to this, as they kind of got all that credit, all those props, and then they go out against Missouri and kind of come out flat. KU on the other hand, they come out flat against Colorado but come away with a win. Maybe KU can be a little bit more consistent than K-State can be, just because the talent is there, and they've also, they've been there before. They've won conference championships. They know how the grind is. Again, a big game March 1st, KU K-State. That's going to be a big game again. But we'll see how the teams fare between now and then, because we'll see who picks up the losses and who doesn't. Because I know a lot of games and Big 12 South teams are coming for both KU and K-State come up here in the most recent stretch.
Absolutely. And to borrow a phrase from Emporia boys basketball coach Rick Bloomquist, it's not the good teams don't handle the adversity well; they handle the prosperity better. And that's kind of the mark of a good team. KU obviously has the experience and can handle that prosperity very well. They have it. That's all they know. K-State is just getting used to that. We'll see how that goes.
I think that's all we got for this week. For Michael Ashford, the man, the myth, the legend, Gazette Sports Editor, this is Jesse Newell, Gazette Sports I'm just going to stop now. Gazette Sports Reporter, signing off for the Emporia Sports Buzz. Before we go, Mike, we need some advice for all those people who stuck with us and listened to the whole thing.
All the Super Bowl ads are on MySpace. I'd go and take a look at those. Some of them, watching them the second time around, they're a little bit funnier. So they're not as disappointing as first thought.
Not as many.
Not as many.
Nah, not as many. Not too funny. I give it a D.
I'd give it a C+.
That's why we're different. Yeah. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.